Over the years, the LGBT community has become a very controversial topic as people have various viewpoints over what they think is right or wrong. Many believe that regardless of sexual orientation, everyone is entitled to having equal rights due to the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment, which states that no state shall make or enforce any law that takes away or restricts the privileges of immunities of citizens of the United States. Bowles versus Hardwick. In 1986, Michael Hardwick was seen by a Georgia police officer engaging in consensual homosexual sodomy with another adult in his home and was charged for this offense. After the court ruled for Georgia, Hardwick decided to file an appeal where the Court of Appeals reversed and remanded, holding that Georgia's statute was unconstitutional. Georgia's Attorney General Michael J. Bowers appealed to the Supreme Court and was granted certiorari. The divided Supreme Court ruled that the states could outlaw those practices. The judges utilized judicial restraint by closely interpreting the Constitution as is. They were more conservative on this topic with a 5-4 decision. Lawrence versus Texas. In 2003, Houston police responded to a reported weapon disturbance in a private residence and entered John Lawrence's apartment, where they saw him and another man engaging in private, consensual sexual activity. Lawrence and his partner were arrested and convicted of sexual intercourse in violation of a Texas law forbidding two persons of the same sex to engage in certain sexual conduct. The State Court of Appeals held that the law was not unconstitutional under the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment, with the case of Bowers versus Hardwick as their example. The case was brought down to the Supreme Court in a 6-3 decision that justices ruled that the Texas law violated the Due Process Clause. The Supreme Court used their power of judicial activism to interpret the Constitution in order to give as many people their freedom of liberty. Bergefell versus Hodges. In 2015, groups of same-sex couples sued their personal state agencies in Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky, and Tennessee to challenge the constitutionality of those states' bans on same-sex marriage and their refusal to recognize legal same-sex marriages that occurred in those states that allowed those marriages. The plaintiffs in each case argued that the state's laws violated the Equal Protection Clause and Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. One group of plaintiffs also brought claims under the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The U.S. Court of Appeals reversed and held that the state's bans on same-sex marriage and refusal to recognize marriages performed in other states did not violate the couple's 14th Amendment right to equal protection and due process. The case was brought down to the Supreme Court, and in a 5-4 decision, it was ruled that the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment guarantees the right to marry as one of the fundamental liberties it protects. That applies to everyone regardless of sexual orientation.